And good morning, super peeps. Here we are coming to you live from the what? Where is this? Where do these intros even come from? I don't know. I don't know. Timer gets down to like a few seconds to go, and I panic and I don't know what to say. Okay, so before I spend the next 2 hours making more of a fool of myself, the important thing, I acknowledge the traditional owners of this land. I pay my respects to their elders, past and present, and to Aboriginal elders and peoples from other communities who may be taking part in this live stream today. I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend. You can see there is a bunch of people. Austin, Chip, Stephen, Family Plans is here, Gavin, Michael. Who else? Oh, Mr. England? Mr. England. I don't think I've seen Mr. England here before. And Zion's here. Horrible buzz. Okay, what's that buzzing noise? It is possible it's the fan. Oh! No, I know what it is. I know what it is. Give me a second. How is that? Does that improve it at all? I think... Oh, and Alexi is here. Frank? Is the buzzing gone? Can someone please confirm? Yes, cool. What that was the receiver for my radio mic was plugged into a charger. I had it, yes, etc. init.d noise stop, and I forgot to unplug it right before the stream went live. I've got plenty of battery. It'll last. I should have a few hours worth. So, okay. Let's get together and do something in person. That might have sounded strange, coming out of left field, but there are a few things leading to this. The acknowledgement of the traditional owners reminded me last night, yesterday afternoon. It started sort of early afternoon and went all through the night, was the annual barbecue for my local gym, and it was at one of the members' houses at an incredible place. He lives probably about 500 meters from my mum's house along the same ridge, and this, where are we? So this was the view from his backyard yesterday, looking out over Melbourne, and you can see the weather coming in there. You can see just in there you can see the CBD. Let's have a bit of zoomage. So you can see the city skyline in there, and this was as the sun was sort of heading over in that direction. That's looking west over Melbourne, in the direction the sun escapes when it's fleeing our shores. Well, fleeing the east coast anyway. And then later in the evening, it looked like this. That was so cool. It just looked so dramatic. And anyway, the point of all of this is something I've been talking to Lachlan about off and on, is having a barbecue or something here and getting a few people over. Anybody that wants to come along. Not when I say here, I don't mean here because that's Andy's house. What I mean is here, as in at the lab. And there are a few people that have come along and visited here in person since I've been setting it up, but I said fairly early on that I really wanted to have something more like a more open event and have people come along, anyone that wants to come and visit. Oh, Dodgy said that slow burning wood. No, there was a very, very big supply of timber. So when those big storms hit, when was it? It must be like 18 months ago now, quite close to 2 years ago. When those really big storms hit Mount Dandenong and, wiped out a whole lot of stuff, about 15 or so trees were knocked down, like really, really big trees were knocked down at Andy's place. And since then he's been progressively chainsawing them and carrying them up the hill. So he's got enough timber to last the rest of his life, basically. Yes. So it kept being... Yes, lots of trees became available. Sion said, I still haven't organised my factory warming event either. I've been waiting until I was fully in and operational, but it's taking forever. Yeah, that's kind of the the state of mind that I've been in as well, because it is still a total mess here. It's going to be a long time until I get to building the walls, building the clean room properly, setting everything up, setting up the trolleys out in the main open area, getting the mechanical area set up. And it's that old thing about perfection is the enemy of done. If I wait until the place is perfect and presentable, I'm never going to have anybody over. So what the hell, let's just do it. I just want to have a reason. It doesn't even have to be a great day. It'd be good to have the roller door up, have a barbecue. Anybody that's in Melbourne and wants to come and visit, and do it in person. Because one of the things that last night reinforced was the social aspect. So training Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai, there is a very strong social aspect to it as well. It's not like going to a regular gym where you're frequently training on your own with machines or weights, or you might have a partner who's spotting you, or someone that's getting you revved up or whatever. When you're doing this sort of training, it's much more collaborative. You really have to work with your training partners, and what that does is build a really strong sense of community and social connections, which is really cool. So the thing is that we've got this community with so many people that come along to these live streams, but it would be nice to also get there in person and see people face to face. And it's been really cool over the last couple of years getting to meet a few people that come along to these live streams in person, getting to know them face to face, and I really want to continue that and extend it and make the lab a place that people can come along and we can have barbecues and chat and things like that. Yeah. Henrik said, sent you a clip in Discord. Oh, excuse me. Discord open. And how many updates is it going to install this time? Probably about 17. No. Discord opened without a single update. So, sent a clip in Discord. Is that in DM? I'm not sure. I can't see anything there. All right. Sorry. I only just made it today. I got here and started everything up, and my laptop, which runs OBS and handles the scene changes and all of that sort of thing, wasn't working properly. Yeah. Anyway, the result is that my brain is running at words. Running at suboptimal efficiency right now. You just got to put up with it. It's the way it is. Okay, so what are we going to do today? Maybe this? I think maybe this. There are two things that I really want to sort out with the Access Point project before I can consider this iteration of it or this incarnation of it to be kind of done, and to start thinking about applying improvements and taking it to the next version. And the yeah, Michael says words are hard. Yeah. Okay, Austin, I'll get back to that point in just a second. So there are two things. One is something that I discovered after the live stream last Sunday, and it's related to the configuration of the network bridge. And the other is the PoE connection for DIY PoE. And Austin in chat just said, I think I found a way to easily and reliably do DIY PoE and 802.3 AF PoE auto switching. That would be really, really nice. That's the grail. I want to be able to just send anything from I don't know, maybe 8 volts at the low end up to, into the low 50 volt region down the wire and have it work. Whether it's plugged into an 802.3 AF Ethernet switch or injector, or if it's just power available down the wire. Those jumpers really annoy me. I hate the fact that there are jumpers on the Rack 32 to change into PoE bypass mode and allow you to run directly off power injected into the wires. That really, really sucks. So the way I'd been thinking about solving that problem was using a new voltage regulator that is, I'm still waiting for it to come out. It was announced, I think it was by Texas Instruments, maybe 6 or 7 months ago, and I've talked about this one on the stream before. It's a little switch mode regulator which is extremely wide input range. The thing is that switch mode regulators typically operate, they have a sweet spot. They'll have an area where their efficiency is good, and so if you run way outside of that input voltage range, they will probably run, but efficiency drops off. So it's pretty normal to have switch mode regulators that will take, say you want 5 volts out, and the regulator might it needs a couple of volts for headroom, so it might take, say, 7 to up to the high end 32 volts as an input range, that sort of thing, which is still pretty decent. That's quite a wide range of inputs. But then once you go really beyond that, say you wanted to take anything from 7 volts to 70 volts and then turn it into 5 volts, making a switch mode regulator that is efficient and works well across that whole range is kind of hard. So it's not that common to do. And what I really want, this new regulator module which is coming out should be available. I've got it on my, I had got it open somewhere, I think DigiKey, somewhere. Anyway, it says, I can't remember what the release date is. They were saying availability in October or November this year, and I think it's one of those classic situations where the date just slips a little bit. And Matt Decky, haha, good to see you. So this particular regulator, I think from memory, it takes up to about 72 volts on its input. Maybe not quite that high, but it's up in that region, and it only needs, I think, like 1.5 or 2 volts headroom above the low end because it's a buck converter, it's not buck boost. And so my plan was to build a power supply into the device based on this regulator and put the bias resistor on it so that it can signal to PoE devices, to injectors, to put them into 802.3 AF mode at the highest possible power rating, requesting the highest possible power, and then you could just send whatever you like down it. As long as you're within that voltage range, it should just work, and there's no need for auto switching because the regulator will accept whatever you send to it. Stephen pointed out you ideally want a transformer with isolation for 802.3 AF AT. Yes, that is correct. So that does complicate things. Anyway, I'm very interested to see what Austin has come up with. I'd thought of, I'd idly toyed with ideas like having some kind of a threshold. Like the really crude way to do this would be something like relays, like a double pole, double throw relay, which allows the onboard regulator to be either isolated or engaged. Like by onboard, I mean the 802.3 AF regulator, and have some kind of a threshold circuit, like have a threshold set on an op amp or something, so that when the input voltage went above a certain point, it would use the PoE regulator, and when it's below that point, it would pass directly to the local linear regulator. But that all seems really icky. And yes, so I am curious to see what Austin has come up with. Anyway, where was I? Okay. So, 2 things to solve today. The bridge issue and the Which reminds me, I should be powering this up while I'm continuing to blather on about nothing and slowly engage my brain, get it functional. What do I want? I want to turn on lab supply 1 will do me, and because I'm not running PoE right now, I'm just going to plug power straight into this thing. But first, what else do I need? Ethernet. Ethernet is helpful. Let's chuck this in. The bypass jumpers are not in place. Plug in power. What have I got it set to? 12 volts at an amp. That'll do. I don't think it'll need more than an amp. Oh, let's go for 2 amps. I set to go, make it so. Power on. All right, and also you can see that the LEDs are now much dimmer. During the week, I went from 4K 7. What did I end up putting in? I think I put 10K resistors in this. So those LEDs now have 10K resistors in series with them on 3.3 volts, and they're still quite visible. Like, you can see these flashing here now on camera, and this is with the room lights on. So they're still quite visible even with 10K, which is pretty cool. Oh, and you can see we now have rainbow, which means it's booted, and hopefully we'll be online. So what do I need? I want a terminal, and I want to, what did we call this? IoT, no, pi at IoTAP. Oh, I've also got to figure out which, I don't know which host name it is right now. In just a second, I'm going to switch to the terminal so you can see what I'm doing. Just going to enlarge it a bit first. Because what I did during the week, well, when did I do it? I think I did it Sunday. It was after the live stream. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's when I did it. I re-imaged an SD card and basically went through the sequence of what we did on the live stream and recreated it. So I wanted to make sure that it was recreatable, and I did it a number of times, and I did different host names. So I'm not even sure if IoTAP3 is the host name that is set on this particular thing, but I'll just try to SSH to it and see if it resolves. It might be IoTAP2, it might be 1, I think it might, I don't know, I thought it was 3. So, yeah, I am really not with it today. Alright, while we're waiting for that to time out, I'm going to take a little walk over to the fridge and grab myself a stiff drink of dihydrogen monoxide. See if this will rehydrate the neurons. Okay. Thanks, Henrik/Mater. I got that link. I will have a look at that in a little bit. But we are not getting any response from IoTAP3. Was it IoTAP2? I don't know. I really don't want to have to stick an HDMI cable into this to find out what its host name is. That would kind of suck. Yeah, Stephen says 100% of people that have come into contact with H2O have died. Absolutely correct. It's a terrible, terrible thing. Yeah, it'll wear down rocks, so I don't know what it's going to do to the inside of my stomach. Was it 4? Yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at sorry, my brain is look at my device list in Unify, in the Unify console. One thing I've got to fix is the SSL certificate on my local installation of, you remember a number 4? Okay, let's just, while I'm looking it up, let's just go for a 4. Yeah, with the changes to, I am really trying to resist chasing this squirrel. Hang on, I've just got to bring up another, I need another terminal because I need to retrieve my password for my UniFi console because the browser won't remember it because it has an invalid SSL certificate. And where are we? UniFi. I have to retrieve my very long randomly generated password from my secure password storage, which is all GPG encrypted. Okay. Now, show me a list of client devices. Oh, I'm so glad that they brought back the hang on, why is there no 4 minutes, 5 minutes? I've got 100 megabit a second, Raspberry Pi Foundation. Sorry, I have a feeling that networking has not come up on this device, which is really sucky. That is really sucky. Do I even have the right SD card in it? See, I'm not doing well today at all, am I? Not at all. You know, sometimes you start something and you think, this really isn't going to go well, and maybe I should redirect myself and do something else. The difference is, when you do that, you don't have a bunch of people staring over your shoulder watching you while you work. DIY in the Ghetto says, coffee time. Thank you for the super chat. Gil said, what do you use to store your passwords? 1Password, LastPass, KeepPass, or something home built? What I use is a file, basically a text file, which is encrypted using GNU PG, and I edit it using Vim, which has a GPG plugin so that I can directly open the encrypted file in Vim without decrypting it first. So it never has to exist unencrypted on disk. It gets unencrypted into memory in Vim. I can edit it or search it or whatever, and then write it back out to disk in its encrypted format. It gets encrypted directly in the write to disk thing within Vim. But for simply retrieving a password, I've got a script that I run which does the same sort of thing. I pass it something like, it just uses a text search, so I can pass it something like part of a URL of a website or part of a username or something, and it decrypts the file in memory, searches it, and returns any of the matching information. Mike says, apt install pass. Yeah. Post-it notes on screen for maximum electronic security. Yep. Oh, Andrew says, GoPass is a nice solution that integrates GPG and Git. Cool. I'm kind of inclined to just pull the power on this Pi and let it reboot and see what happens. I'm going to do that. So what I can see is that in my... should I do this? Yeah, what the hell. I'll bring it up so you can see it. So this is what's going on in my UniFi console. This is devices on the network. And I just sorted by uptime. And you can see these two connections. They've both been up for 8 minutes. One of them about 23 seconds longer than the other. Something like that. One of them is FE, so full speed Ethernet, full speed, 100 megabits a second. This, I'm pretty sure, is the WizNet chip. Oh, hang on, we could figure that out based on this prefix. And then the other See this one here? This one says manufacturer Raspberry Pi Foundation. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that both of these devices here that came up at almost the same time are this. So I am going to be really, really nasty, something you shouldn't do with a Raspberry Pi. Pull the power, stick it back in. I might have to recreate this. Anyway, okay. While that is rebooting, I will explain what happened, what I was seeing. No, let's back up a little bit. I'll give you the... Let's have a look at this. GitHub, Superhouse, IoT access point. And this, I ended up taking the various steps that we had been through and put them into a script. So if anybody's interested in checking this out, this is the URL. I will stick this into the chat. Oh, Henrik said, did I miss your comment? The number was 1 in your last weekend stream. Yes, it was, but it's not now because, as I was just saying earlier, last Sunday I re-imaged this multiple times. I went through the process of setting it up from scratch and going through the entire setup process, and I did that several times. So I ended up with IoT AP2, IoT AP3, and I'm not sure what number I actually ended up on. I think it was IoT AP3. So the point of that was I wanted to make sure that it was reproducible. So this is where all the stuff that matters for now is. It's in the software directory. So what I did was I took the overlays. So these are the Tony's overlays, the W5500, SPI1. There's the SPI1 off, which is not really required because we can do that same thing in the setup script now. This is the compiled binary that drives the RGB LEDs to make them rainbow. And then we've got a couple of config files. So there's an example of the pre-shared key file here. And it's got, so the idea is you put in the MAC address and you put in the pass for that particular device. It's got, what is bridge 0? I can't even remember. Oh, that's right. That's this definition of the bridge device. And down here we have, oh yeah, and also I just wrote down the steps. Do the imaging, blah, blah, blah. All of this is down to, before you even get started, power up. Okay, so all the way down to this point is just basic setup of Raspbian OS on the Raspberry Pi. There's nothing unusual about that at all. It's only after this point that you start getting into the setup of this access point software. So copy the whole folder to your local computer, which is this directory here, and then you go into the directory, run the setup script, reboot, and everything should be working except for this thing. So bridge control, add the interfaces, bridge 0 and Ethernet 0, and that works if you run it manually, but I have not got that working in the setup. So if we go here into the setup script, all it does is install some stuff that it needs. GPIO 0 is so that we can talk to the GPIOs. It moves the example config files into place, which you'll probably want to edit once they're done. Installs the overlays. It copies that bridge network definition into place. It So I also made a little service control script, which we'll look at in just a moment. I just called it IoT AP, and it gets activated at run level 3. So when the Pi boots, when it gets to run level 3, it will run that setup, not the setup script, the service script. It also copies, this is really nasty and crude, but this was like a lazy way of getting it to this point of working. It copies the compiled binary into the initialization script directory so that it simply gets run at startup. And then, hang on, RGB rainbow. If it's in init.d, oh, okay. That is, why did I do that? 0RC3, okay. I think I might have had a brain fart moment when I was setting this up. Why am I running this out of run level 3 when I've copied it into the init.d directory? Anyway, that's a neither here nor there thing. That can be fixed up later. So we got the host APD config, which is set up, and it then enables the system service and does that stuff and then reboots. So we've got, this is where it's doing bridge control, add interface, bridge 0, ETH 0, but then after rebooting that goes away. So anyway, this at this stage is all just me trying to take these manual steps that we've been going through and begin coalescing them into some kind of a setup process or some way to make it repeatable. And then this is the thing that gets run at startup. So it's doing the GPIO stuff that we talked about last week, doing the serial. So this is Tony's work. All of this reads the serial from the CPU, sets the MAC address, and then it does it loads the overlay. Yep, okay, sorry. I was misreading that again for a second. So first it does this stuff which disables the the SPI buses, and then it loads the W5500 driver, and then it tries this one, bridge control, add interface, and this is my problem. Well, actually not my problem right now. Right now my problem is I've got no device. Where is, yeah, it's got no IP address assigned. What I would rather not do is image this from scratch. I don't want to. I really don't want to. Don't make me. Please don't make me. Oh, Andrew said, just being in etc init.d doesn't mean it'll be run, just available. Yep. Yes, you're right. So the scripts just sit there, and then it needs to be symlinked from the particular run level directory to make it executed at that run level. See, I told you my brain is not functional today. It's just not there. Dodgy. Yes, that's very good advice, Dodgy. If the brain is foggy and it made sense before, leave it alone until it does make sense again. Yep. Agim, hey, good to see you coming along. Where am I? Where am I? I'm going back to here. I'm pretty sure it was 3, was where this one ended up. Oh, what? Hang on, it worked. Why did that work this time when just getting this out of the way, wrong one, get that out of the way. Oh, and we're back at the terminal, but what I'm looking for is I want to see what's happened to the bridge. Bridge control show. Okay, so this is wrong. Now, check this out. If I do, let's have a look in, I need to make this a bit bigger. Let's embiggenify this terminal even more. We'll make it ridiculously big. All right. .d IoT AP. So this is the startup script. And where it's ending with, hang on, why do I have sudo in the startup script? This is going to get executed as root. Now this part is obviously working. I don't think I need sudo in there. It was necessary previously when we were running it as normal users, but check this out. Let's have a look at this. Bridge control show, and what we've got here is the WLAN interface, but this is not the configuration that we want. What we want to do is, okay, I'm going to do this manually now. Bridge control add interface, BR0, ETH0, and now if we do bridge control, oh, okay, I've lost my connection. I don't know if it's going to come back or not. It may, or I may need to just SSH in again. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think my original connection comes back. So let's come back in here and re-embiggenify that one. And now if we do bridge control show, look at this. We now have WLAN 0 as part of it. Now that command that I ran is being run from the end of... Oh, I forgot the Etsy. In it, it's being run here, right at the end of the startup script, and yet it is not doing its thing. It is not, because when we booted, WLAN 0 was not part of that interface. And now that I'm looking at this, let's see, in it, I can't even type today. What? Yeah, I know. Everybody's going to be telling me, use VI, use VI. No, I want to use Vim. That's just the way it is. You got to live with it. Am I losing my mind today? DIY in the ghetto, thank you for the super chat. DIY said, maybe a pint will help later on, you need it. The thing is that I don't even drink. Like, not, oh, I don't have anything against alcohol. I'm just not into it. Last night I did have a small sip of an extremely nice whiskey, but it was just to taste what it was like, and it was really good. But I don't know why. It's just something about the way my brain works is that it's like I have a blind spot to alcohol. It means nothing to me. What am I doing? That's right. I was vimming this. Let's just get rid of these sudos. We don't really need them. And I'm pretty sure that that is not the problem. And I think what's happening is that there is not enough time in between loading the driver here and this and the Wi-Fi network coming up. So maybe someone's got a better suggestion. But what I was thinking was that perhaps we need a script that runs later in the process, and it runs this bridge control command once Wi-Fi is up. so it has to wait until the Wi-Fi interface exists and then runs it. Sleep 2, yeah, magic sleep, yes. Yeah, can you sleep or delay? Yeah. I don't know how long the delay has to be. What is the syntax? Is it that in Bash? I can't remember. Let's try it. Oh, I'm frustrating myself. I must be frustrating you so much more. Let's just try sleep 2. Syntax error. Sleep 2. Yes, that's it. Okay. No, not that. I need to revimificationize this. Sleep. I don't know how long it's going to need to be. Let's give it 10 seconds. Give it a bit of time for the wireless network to come up. Sudo reboot, and let's just see what happens. No brackets, just a space, says Grant. Yep. Mike says, sounds like a system control one-shot unit file is needed. I could pretend to know what you're talking about and go, yes, yeah, Mike, you're right. I think a system control one-shot unit file, that's exactly the solution. But I don't have a clue what the hell you're talking about. What is... Oh, the unit file can wait on the network. Okay, yeah. So it's just waiting for a dependency or a dependent condition to be achieved before it will do its thing. That sounds like what we need. But a simple delay may do the job. The machine's back up and running. I see the rainbow. I tell you what, if anyone turned up to my live stream today, it was the first live stream they've seen, what impression are they going to get? Henrik says, just turn on some relaxing music, maybe that helps. Yeah. System control is the elegant way to do it, but sleep is easy. Sleep, yes. Sleep is easy. Come on, come back. I'm new to live streams, Tom. I feel sorry for you. I'm usually barely coherent and chasing all sorts of random things, but I think today it sets a new low benchmark. I've watched some past videos on your channel. It's all good. Thanks, Tom. It seems the sleep 10 is running. Yeah, but it's been a lot more than 10 seconds. Yeah, it does seem to take a little while to come up. It's very odd. Lisu says, yeah, my first time here. Looks pretty familiar though. We all have those days. Oh, Lassie. Is it Lassie you? Yeah. Thanks, Lassie. Lass? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Sorry. Alright, so maybe we're back in the situation again where once again it has not come back on the network. See, there are definitely teething issues here, things that need to be resolved. I'm not sure what's going on with this. I wonder if I pull the power again. Oh, I can see in my Unify console, right there, 2 minutes and 1 second, we have got this device which is on the network, as in it's physically on the network and seems to be doing stuff. Oh, look at this. ITAP3. Oh no, maybe that was from the previous incarnation. 2 minutes 47 seconds. No, that's the current incarnation. It may be that we need to come in through... Let's try that. Instead of that, let's do this. We're going to use the IP address that's been assigned to the Wi-Fi interface. Come in there instead, maybe, if it'll allow me. Yes. Nope, looks like that is still not working either. Alright, well, while we are waiting for that, let's all watch Winston the dog. I don't know if you can hear audio out of that. Maybe you can. Oh no, I've got it muted, so I don't think it's playing anything. Winston the dog, whenever the wind blew up, a big shower of sparks would come out. I didn't actually catch a shower of sparks on this bit of video, just a couple of little ones. But Winston was being very amused by the sparks and was trying to catch them while holding something in his mouth. I don't know what was going on there. How he was catching stuff in his mouth and... No, that timed out. And trying to grab sparks out of the air. He caught a couple and didn't seem to mind, so it wasn't hurting him. I'm going to pull the plug on this thing again because it says, oh no, it did come back. It did come back. Okay. Come on. Yes, the delay worked. Okay. Well, at least we have a really nasty, hacky, sort of semi-not-real solution. It's the ugly way to do it, but we now have WLAN up. So, the interesting thing now is this has rebooted and... Okay, so to set the scene of where this has got to, because I re-imaged this SD card multiple times last weekend, where I got to with this is this particular card was set up following that process that I showed you here. It was done with Raspbian OS, copying this directory, which is on GitHub, changing into changing into it, running the setup script, and then rebooting of that bridge command. So now let's go to here. Let's edit this right here live on GitHub. Now, of course, I just put 20-second sleep in there as a total, I don't know, maybe it needs 19.997 seconds and we're living on the edge of disaster. Maybe it needs 0.2 of a second. I don't know. I just don't know. So, okay, added 20-second delay before adding devices to bridge, adding interfaces to bridge device. That makes more sense. Interfaces to bridge device. Go. So at least now if anybody grabs this, it'll have this, and this should work. So where this is right now, if we go back into this thing on GitHub, where this directory is right now, if you download this directory or check out the repo, copy this onto like just a vanilla Raspbian installation and run that setup script, you're done. That's it. You'll have a working Wi-Fi access point with the personal pre-shared keys stuff configured for you so that you can then just start adding your devices. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, I need to update that. It's, as you've seen, it's kind of grungy and messy and hacky. It's got things like that nasty sleep command in there. There's lots of cleanup that could be done on this. And it's got that compiled binary for the RGB rainbow that's just being stuck into init.d. Super ugly stuff. But I was just trying to get to the point where it is possible to run one setup script and you're done. It's like someone told me years and years ago when an approach to doing PCB routing, he said, first make it work, then make it pretty. So we've got to the stage now where we've made it work. Next is to make it pretty. Dodgy says, can you do a loop until the Ethernet is up but include a timeout in case it doesn't happen? Michael said this is still John's best script. Yes. If not interface up, sleep one. Yes, that's right. Michael suggested doing a check for whether the interface is up. That would be a nicer way of doing it. And what would actually be kind of interesting is to do that and also increment a counter at the same time, and then write the counter out to disk after success into like just a log file, so that we can then come along and see how long did it take. Did it take 19 seconds or did it take 1 second? I don't know. Intermittent's here. Good to see you, Quindor. Yeah, anyway. I've now taken nearly an hour of just screwing around. Had one line to a script. While not interface up asleep. Yep, log to temp. Yep, exactly. So there are two things that we could do at this point. One is I could fix the PCB to get the connections working for PoE. Alexi says, sounds like a Sunday. Yeah. Grant says, use the LEDs to indicate status. Yes. Keen said, good thing you don't work for Elon. Yeah. Code review. End of the week. Print out. Yeah, print out all of the code you've worked on this week and bring it along as a hard copy for a code review. And I could print it on a like on a label, sleep 20. And I think the response would be, you're fired. Okay. Where are we? I say that so often. I'm just lost. I am so lost today. Okay, so two things we could do. I could mess around with this script, which does sound kind of fun. I feel like putting that the interface check in it. Scott says, I once spent 3 days writing 2 lines of code. Yep. Yeah. Anyone that's done programming will know that for more than 5 minutes knows that line count is not a good metric for productivity. It's sometimes the best measure of productivity is a decrease in line count. But yes, people measure things in strange ways. Now, here we go again. Two things. You know what? I think I need to grab a snack. And walking away from the computer, custard pie. Yeah, it does take a while. Like when I sat down to do this, just writing up the steps takes a little while. Hang on, you can't see it. There. Yeah, when I was writing this, that takes you through the steps that you need to do. All right. Oh, Keen said, is it not just me buffering? No, I think I think there is a problem. Multiple people are having buffering issues. Maybe I should just sit and eat my snack and wait for all the buffers to refill. Looks like a problem on my side. That could well be. How bad is it? Is it bad enough to disconnect and reconnect? Alright, so in fact, what I'm going to do is switch to here so you can't see it. I'm going to come into here, and it says YouTube's console says that yes, there is buffering. There is not enough data hitting YouTube's ingestion servers. So there is definitely something going on. It's on the upstream from here. Okay. Can anyone hear me? Lasse said maybe you should drop some bitrate on the streaming. I wonder if I can. It's coming out of the ATEM, so I don't know. There was a good 3 minutes of spinny thing. What I should have done is taken that opportunity to eat my snack while nobody could see what was going on. Tom asked a question, which I will get to. Okay, I'll get to it right now. So this is squirrel chasing. Tom said, random completely off-topic question. In a previous video you showed an order status screen somewhere. What software was that? That is... I'm not going to show it to you right now because it's got... Well, there are two modes. I can put it into a mode where it shows fake names. And what it does is shows real orders with their values and things. But it replaces all of the names with famous scientists from history. And... at the moment it's showing real customer names, which would be a breach of privacy if I showed the screen. So I'm not going to show you the status screens right now. Aha, at least people can hear me. Cool. And what software is it running is the question. It's a web page. Basically it's just a web browser in a full screen mode, like kiosk mode, and it's loading a page which is coming off a VM running at Linode in California, and that it's using asynchronous updates. So it's using some JavaScript asynchronous updates to pull data down from an API that I wrote, which is running on that same server, and that is accessing data from two different places. One is from Shopify, the other is from WooCommerce. Yes. All right. Buffering stop, but you have gone fuzzy now. So it's not that easy to answer. I can't just say what software is running because it's a homebrew stack with a few different layers to it. Now, I'm just looking at this. All right. Hopefully we're getting past the... this is for Scott. Since Scott asked, what is this, Medibank? What? What am I even doing here? So, Sion asked, which do you prefer? Shoplift? I assume you meant Shopify or WooCommerce. They both have their advantages. Shopify is much simpler but less flexible, and it costs more. Ooh, I just got a notification about emergency network maintenance. Services may be experiencing an outage. Oh no, that's not for now. But I just got that email coming in. Everyone can see that my brain is broken today, can't they? It's pretty hard to hide. Now, so cutting tracks. All right, let's do this thing. I'm going to go to there, and sudo vim that, and instead of sleep 10, let's do something, oops, as suggested. Where are we? Scrolling back, scrolling back. Michael says John needs sugar. Yeah, maybe. To temp. Yeah, okay. Oops. While not it was WLAN 0, wasn't it? Is that what we want? While not WLAN 0, sleep, something like that. But let's make this a little more elaborate. Let's do sleep 1. I've got to try to remember the syntax of how to do this in Bash. Let's make ourselves a counter. Let's do let's do I equals 0. Oops. We're in insert mode, and then we're going to do sleep 1. We'll do, can I just do I++? I don't think I can in Bash, can I? I think I've got to do I equals I plus 1, perhaps? Something like that. Sleep 1, do that, and then and then can I do echo $I into, say, temp start delay. Alright, now it is time for everybody to start screaming at me that I'm screwing this up. In what ways have I screwed this up? Something using an if-up command. No, Agim said check Discord. What is in Discord? What is in Discord? I am many messages behind in Discord. Where are we? I'm looking for the IoT access point channel, I guess. Try running a script as a system service with content, something like this. Unit. Ah, interesting. Install wanted by multi-user target. Enable. In that case, you shouldn't be waiting with a sleep. Okay, so this is an alternative way to do it. Let's give this a try. I don't even know if I'm still online because I'm not seeing anything in the chat. I don't know if anybody can hear me. I don't know what's going on. But let's do... Oh, Peter says I equals $I. I am on. Cool. I equals... Oh, of course it does. In Bash, you can't reference it like that. So, oh, I've lost Steve. Steve can go over there for a moment. So, I guess something like that is kind of what we're doing. While that done, have I missed a done command? While not that, blah, What am I doing here? I'm going to do something different because some tribe has suggested something different in Discord. All right. So I want install wanted by to create the system call script, create a file in blah. Okay. Let's try something. Let's try this. I've never done this before, so this is going to be a disaster. But if I follow, I will call this, what am I going to call this service? IoT AP bridge dot service. That'll do. IoT AP bridge. And let's stick in, set paste. I think this is where it needs to go. Network online dot target. Now, what do we need to customize in this? Description. Let's say IoT AP bridge. That'll do. Once network online dot target, after network online, so this waits until we have a network up, which is good. Exec start is etc init.d IoT AP. Hang on, but if we do this, it's going to be calling this. But do we want to do? So what this is going to do is delay running the script until after the network is up. I suppose that's okay. It means that what we have is no wired Ethernet until this runs. Yeah. I don't understand. I don't understand. So, I guess if we do this, we no longer need the symlink from run level 3 to run that startup script, do we? Because it's going to be run by this system control profile. I don't know. I'm really not in the state of mind to be following through things that I don't have a clue about at the moment. So, let's go to, well, Michael says this is the elegant way to do it. Maybe I should continue. What I was just going to say is I should go to my happy place, which is cutting tracks on PCBs and soldering jumper wires on, and fix the PoE thing. Yeah, only init the bridge part, not the entire script. Yeah, okay. Cool. I'm getting direct messages from SunTribe as well. Okay, so I only want to init the bridge part. So what I can do in here is say IoT AP bridge, maybe, as that. And then I can do etc init.d IoT AP, and I'll make it etc init.d IoT AP bridge. This is not necessary. Yeah, sudo vim etc init.d IoT AP, and then I'll take out the bridge control from that script, and then on this one, please someone tell me if I'm screwing all of this up. What I want is this script to be doing nothing but adding the interfaces to the bridge. So what should happen now is that this first one will be executed at run level 3. This will do all the MAC address stuff, and it will load the driver and bring up the W5500, which is already configured, and we've got the ETH0 config file for that. And then the service control will run this, which adds the devices to the bridge. Okay, so now if I do system control, that's probably going to be sudo, isn't it? So I'm going to say, please system control enable IoT APBR dot service. Is that right? Contains no run levels. Aborting. Okay. IoT APBR contains no run levels. So what have I messed up with that? Is it this one? Do we need to put a run level definition in here to say when it's meant to be executed? At what run levels? Again, it says exactly. Okay, what's the syntax for that? Where do I find that? Let's see. System CTL service run level. I'm just Googling here for random things. When we enable any run level wanted by blah. Oh, the systemd init system does not natively use a concept of run levels. Instead, it introduces a concept of targets, which group other units by using the mechanisms of dependencies. Okay, so what do we need to put in? Why is it saying that it needs that it says no run level defined? Because it looks like this is all we need. So we need a unit, a service, and an install. So default start contains no run levels. Update rc.d. Where is this error coming from? Is this for init system blah? Enable IoT APBR. Right. And wanting to make etc. init.d IoT APBR system service. Probably best easiest to rename it. Rename what in particular? The IoT APBR service? Okay. Because I'm really lost here. So we've got the IoT APBR, which is just a bash script. It's only doing one thing. And then we have the service definition here, which is referencing that bash script. And it is wanted by multi-user targets. Oh, okay. So this is kind of like the equivalent of the run level thing. So once it has booted to multi-user level or mode, okay, the one in etc. init.d. So I need to rename that. Just to rename it to anything. It doesn't matter what. Oh, okay. Also try system control. Daemon reload. I don't understand the thing about renaming the init script. So IoT, the bridge script, is that am I just trying to rename it away from the name that it was before, like that? In which case, oh, what? That. In which case, doing this is not going to find it. Hang on. Why created symlink? IoT. Ah. Okay. Yeah, but the thing is that it's not even going to find that now. So I don't understand why renaming that has... So why renaming this script, which is the target of this, fixes anything? Because it's now not going to be... it's now not going to be found. John broke it again. Yep. Yes, I broke it again. So it's never going to execute it. So if I change that now to match that, and then if I ran this again, it'd probably come up with that error again. It didn't come up with that error again. What? So it does it once at boot. In the service section, type equals one shot, so it does it once at boot. Okay. Type equals one shot. Oh, without a capitalization, it looks like one shot. Is that correct, Mike? S unit slash hint unit. Are you talking about this part up here, Andrew? At the top of the script, it's got a unit section. That should be unit, not hint. So edit the service file to have the right script name. Yep, just use the command to add a 0 to the bridge. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. So I don't understand how this is executed. This looks like it's a config file, not a script. But what it's doing is calling out to an external script. And what I went through my mind was, why not just call that bridge control command directly from here with the arguments? Why do we need that extra script at all? Yeah, so as Agim said, so just use the line in the service and delete the etc init.d IoTAPBR. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Equals, what was it? System CTL where is that syntax again? Got to try to remember what it was. What was that command? It was that. Oh, bridge control. I had it so totally wrong. Yeah, that. So will that do it? Now we're not referencing that other script at all. And where was that reload command? Daemon reload. Anyway. Yep, do the command in the service file. I am really tempted to just reboot at this point and see what happens. What the hell? Let's do it. Because we now have it commented out. Yeah, we have it commented out in the init script that handles the other parts of it, like loading the driver for the WISNet chip. So it's not going to be executed from there. So if this reboots now, and then it comes up with that WLAN 0 added to the bridge, we'll know that this worked. Okay, more sugar time. Need more sugar. And I'm back. Connection refused, which just means it's not quite ready yet. Usually, I hope. Hopefully it isn't totally screwed up. Ooh. Agim says also. Yes. Alright, it is up. And now if we do bridge control show. Look at that! It worked! Yes, and Agim said remove the IOTAPBR file. Yes, suited. Let's do this. Someone dare me to hit enter now. IOTAPBR2. Yes, we don't need that anymore. Alright. So I'm going to need to update the setup script and document this so that this can be done again. Otherwise, I will have forgotten it 5 minutes from now. Stephen says, won't work without minus RF. Yeah, I know. Okay. Let's have a look at this. Oh, I don't think I've got the config set up properly. Alright, before we actually test this, it's where is it going to be? Host APD, WPA PSK. Oh yeah, I think that is. This first row is the MAC address. Oh, you can't see it. This first row is the MAC address of my phone, and your pass 1 will do just nicely as a pass. So, let's go back to here. Oh, and what network are we advertising? Init.d, no, not that. Host APD, hostapd.conf, and we're advertising Superhouse 4. So let's go and you can't see that either because I keep switching screens, keep switching cameras. All right, here we go. Let's go into Wi-Fi, Superhouse 4, connected. I think it worked. Let's see if Twitter is still up. It is for now. And it's working. So I'm now on the phone connected to the access point, which rebooted and brought up the interfaces and everything without me doing anything, which is success. It doesn't feel like huge success because we had this almost working last week. We had it working as an access point. Agim said, just a suggestion, all of this might be a nice candidate for Ansible scripting. Yeah, there's the central configuration side of it is a whole extra consideration that we can look at. How do we push these configs out to multiple devices? That is a can that I'm kicking down the road a little bit. Okay, I want to get the soldering iron hot today. So let's fix the connections for the PoE. Now, to do this, I need to find I had a DM from Austin sometime. Here it is. Let's download this. Save image. Stick it on the desktop because let's make it messier. Here we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm about to have something for you to see. Almost there. Here we go. So, Austin incredibly helpfully went way above and beyond and sent me this image. So he's got my current design here. This is the routing on the IoT access point. This is an example of the routing that he's used, his design for his WT32 PoE with the same connector. Yeah, Trady says, yay, let's do some electronics. Yes. So in theory, these two devices with the same connector should be using the same pins for the PoE side of things, and it is not quite. So we've got VB, okay, let's have a look at the difference. Pin 7 here I've got as VB1 and Austin has as VA1. Then up here I've got VA1 and he has VB1, and that is VB and VA. So basically VA and VB are swapped. Now one thing that's kind of sucky about this is I've used an inner layer for that VB2 connection and this VA2 connection. So doing a bit of track cutting could be interesting. Alright, and then coming over here, my current design is using that. And I'll see if I can get this over. Let's move this over to this part of the screen so it's easier to see those two side by side or above and below. You want DIY PoE here. Okay, I need it on pins 1 and 6, is it? VC2 minus, VC2 plus, and I'm taking it from, where am I taking it from? I think I'm taking it from VB, the VB pair, or what's labelled VB on mine. So he's saying to take it from pins 1 and 6, which is that one, yeah, the VB pair, and VB1, VB2, and I'm taking it off here, but we can't actually see that. So, alright, now that I've kerfuffled around for 5 minutes looking at Austin's explanation, let's get ourselves into Eagle and see what I'm doing with those connections. It will be up on the screen in just a jiffy. Just finding the design file. Here we go. Where am I taking it from? Alright, and I need show. So, what am I looking at? WizNet. Okay. Where is power? Okay, so we've got the pairs coming out here. VA, VB. Then somewhere, where am I doing it? Must be on a different sheet. Yeah, down here. Down there. VB, so I've got those bypass things with the diodes, so they're coming off the VB pair. it's likely that I've got my things mislabeled. So what I need is to have these coming off what I have labeled as the VA pair, which may really be the VB pair. So if we switch over to here, here, and here. All right, we want to see where this net goes. It's down here. All right, so we've got PoE bypass coming in on what's labeled as the VB pair. Sorry, I'm kind of ignoring chat at the moment. My brain is just idling through this process. And then we've got this VB coming into the other PoE bypass. And what we should be doing is taking them from what I have labeled as the VA pair. I think this is what Austin is trying to tell me. All right, this is okay. This can be fixed with a little bit of, that goes to there, so that goes through. That one's going to be tricky because we've got the middle layer here, and also, so this trace is passing VB2 through from the connector on this internal layer, and it uses this jumper to come through here and to there. So what we're going to have to do is leave that in place and not put that jumper in place. Alright, so here is what I propose to do. Let's screenshot this, and then I'm going to do some editing of the screenshot before I actually do anything. So, and can I edit this? Yes, I can. Cool. Editing tools. Draw. I want to draw lines. Which one is it? That one? Sketch? Yeah, let's do sketch. And what color is it drawing with? Red. That'll do. Oh no, it won't. Let's go for yellow. Something bright that's going to stand out on this background. Yellow will do. Okay, so what I want to do is cut this track across here. Why is that still red? Where is the fill color? Yellow. Yellow, okay. Does that fix it? Yeah, okay. So I want to cut the track here so that this bypass jumper is no longer coming from VB1. Instead, what I want to do is link that to VA1, which I can pick up in a few different places. So I want to go to there. So have a bodge wire that goes from that point down to this part of the header. And Sion says just some whiteout on the screen. Then I need to, I can't use this one anymore, but what I'm going to need to do, instead of bridging VB2 to ground, which is what this jumper does, I need to bridge VA2 to ground. So from here, I would want to have a link that goes to ground somewhere. Doesn't really matter where, it's easy to do. Okay, I think that's clear enough. So this is all it comes down to, is cutting one track and putting two bodge wires in place. I think I can manage that. Even in my current state of mind, my brain can do that. So, before I do that though, let's move this out of the way. I don't want to do open heart surgery while the heart is still beating, so we'll shut it down. And then Once it has finished all its activity, we're gonna do some surgery. Yeah. I think it is all shut down. Power out, Ethernet out, got to get the board out because I need to cut on the bottom track. Come on. This electric screwdriver, it's one of those things that is potentially really cool, but makes you bend your wrist in really awkward ways to make it work. And it's not quite strong enough either. It needs a little bit more torque. So the track I need to cut is that one right there. And I can do that with my handy dandy little buzzy thing. Get some focus. I can do it with this. Oh. Yeah, it's a kind of large track. So I could have done this. Ooh, did I go too deep then? I hope there's no other track in that part of the PCB directly under there, because it's a 4-layer board, which means the second layer is going to be very close. No, there's nothing else anywhere in that area, so I don't think I did go too deep. Just looks like there's a little bit of copper in there. Let's make sure that that track really is cut. Where is another test point? Handy dandy continuity mode. Probably the most frequently used thing on any multimeter. Continuity. Does it beep? No, it doesn't. Okay, track is cut. And now I need to get some soldering ironage. So I've got to turn that on. Soldering iron is on. Now, a little bit of wire to make up jumper. What'll I use? Doesn't matter what it is. This looks like reasonable cable. So now I need to bridge, reminding myself of what I'm jumpering to. So I need to jumper from that, the back of that pin to that pad there. Which means my bodge wire doesn't need to be very long at all. Okay, so while I'm doing this random bodging sort of stuff, if I have a barbecue or something here, like an open day or an open afternoon or something at the lab, who would be interested in coming? Would anybody turn up? I think it'd be really cool to meet up with people in person, put some faces to nicks. It rotated the pin in the hole because the solder melted. Oh well. It's a test of the solder mask. That was bad. It's almost shorting across to the adjacent pin. I can't even solder today. That's how bad of a shape I'm in. I don't actually even know why I'm in bad shape. It's weird. It's not like I've, you know, I don't do hangovers because I don't do alcohol. It's just not with it. All right, one jumper is there. And the other jumper, that's right. I need to go to ground from the adjacent one. So VA2 is that pin there, and I want to take that to ground. So I think maybe, I'm just thinking about the way to do that. Maybe I could solder onto there. Yeah, stuff it. I was going to take back a bit of the silk screen, but no, let's just solder it onto the can. Another little bit of bodge wire, and then I can solder it onto the back of the RJ45 connector. The insulation on this wire does not seem particularly good. I suspect it's low quality, like PVC or something. You know, some kind of insulation that melts at a very low temperature. So, and it shrinks. So when I heat up the wire, the insulation shrinks and pulls back away from it. Really dodgy. Okay, let's solder this one. This is the link through to ground. So I'll solder that to the can. There we go. Get things back out of the way again. And all right, now I'm going to try doing an injector. Where is it? Up there. I have a PoE injector. I've got a passive injector here. This should do the job. I'm going to run this off the lab supply, and to reduce the chance that I've screwed something up, I'm going to need to put a jumper on there as well. To reduce the chance that I've screwed something up, to reduce the damage caused by me screwing something up, I'm going to run this off the lab power supply. So this is the lab supply. I'm going to turn it off, and I'm going to make sure the current limit is set to some reasonable level. So what do we have now? We've got the access point connected in on Ethernet, which is actually no, I've got this injector backwards. That's not going to work. I grabbed the wrong injector out of the box. What I need is that and another Ethernet cable, and I need an Ethernet coupler. So no, I'm just going to use a different type of injector. Maybe like this. Well, you almost saw me let the smoke out. So this way I don't need to use an Ethernet coupler. I can just use a short Ethernet cable, and I will grab a red danger cable. Get this out of the way. All right, now, here we go. So, access point, plugged into the red cable. A red cable comes to the device side, which is the top of the injector. Ethernet goes into the bottom side of the injector, and then power goes into the injector here. Okay, so which way can I turn this to make it visible? Here we go. I'm going to hit go on the power supply. If anybody wants to see the magic smoke come out, this is probably when it's going to happen, and boom. Alright, so it's currently pulling about 150 milliamps at 12 volts. We seem to have power, and in a minute we might even have the flashing blinkies. There we go. So now we have this powered using DIY power over Ethernet. So Austin was absolutely 100% correct. I screwed up the connections. The thing is that I think what I did was mislabel the connections on the RJ45 jack in the symbol, which then misled me. So I sabotaged myself. I ended up connecting to the VB versus VA, etc. Yes, Austin, you were absolutely right. All right, so that is a so that is a fix that needs to be applied to the design. Now, well, stopping to consider where we're at right now. I came into this stream with two objectives. One was to fix the problem of not adding the interface devices to the bridge at startup. That has now been fixed thanks to the wonderful help that you've all given. And just trying to find here in Discord, just the reason for the pause. Sorry, SunTribe. Yes, specifically gave the syntax for that system service file. 11 minutes to lunch. I don't know if I can last that long, Richard. I'm struggling. And the other thing is, yes, Austin fixed the problem for the PoE. Oh, Henrik keeps reminding me about the clips. Would I check the clips in the end of the live stream? Okay, what are these clips? Let's see what the clips are. I don't even know what they're referencing. Christmas tree? Mediafire? I don't know what that link goes to, but let's find out. Opening it up, and I hope you're not rickrolling me, because Henrik, I have no idea what you're linking me to here. Vid. Downloads, 0. Okay. Let's see what this is. Download. And there was another one. Oh, Richard! Richard, what did you do? 50 Canada bucks. Thank you. Always incredibly generous. Thanks, Richard. Maybe I should buy myself a pizza for lunch or something. Well, it wouldn't be buying myself a pizza. It would be you buying me the pizza. Yes, Agim is SunTribe. So let's see what... Oh, sorry, I was saying Henrik, I think. Yes, not Agim. Show in Finder. What is this video? And play. Looks like Christmas lights, is it? Not quite sure what's going on in that one. And let's see the other one. The other video. Oh, you can see a little bit better what's going on here. The other one was very dark, but look at this. Looks like this is a tree with lights all over it. And that does look cool. Is that snow underneath? Yeah. Oh, and snow on the tree. That looks cool. Nice. So, Agim, what country are you in? You're obviously up in the northern hemisphere somewhere, and north. Because, yes, snow. Not a whole lot of snow here in Australia at the moment. Although there was snow last week, there was a big dump of snow on the mountains up not all that far from here, which is weird for late November. Ah, Estonia. Yes, that's right. Yes, Henrik, and the big white dot is a mushroom. Oh, this is just showing how fried my brain is at the moment. I'm trying to keep track of of the links between nicknames in YouTube and nicknames in Discord, and I've been talking to, so I've been crossing over the associations. So that those videos were from Henrik. That wasn't Agim's. So let's go and have a look at what Agim has been linking. Now, oh, I'm not sure. No, Agim was referencing the service control stuff. Yeah, someone, Peter's been messaging me. I said, go to bed, John, finish early. Yes. Oh, okay. Agim, you're from Croatia. Cool. Oh, come on, Pete. Pete said, John, never listen to Pete. Pete have very sad life, will probably have very sad death, but at least there is symmetry. Oh no, the fact that you're saying that is sad. No, Pete, we love you. No, you do not want that sort of symmetry. Definitely not. Oh, that's a Babylon 5 quote. I didn't get that. Michael says, John sleep 8 hours. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I really am going to finish early. Am I going to finish before 12? I think I am. You can see it in my eyes. I'm just not all there today. I'm kind of amazed that there was success with the two things that we attempted, and the only reason for the success is that my brain was just engaged enough to follow instructions and not screw it up too badly. But it was it was not my success. All right, I am going to go, and hopefully next live stream I will be more with it. But thanks to everyone for hanging in there. Yeah. This is a really good way to spend a Sunday morning. I really do like doing these live streams, and I really like chatting to all of you. So please don't take this as as the way it always is. Please come back next time. I will try to have my brain a bit more engaged. And I will update the stuff on GitHub with those changes with the system service stuff that was just added, so that hopefully after this you really will be able to just git clone that directory, run the setup script in a vanilla Raspberry Pi, and boom, you've got yourself an access point. And the thing is that you don't need any of the special hardware. If you've got something like a Raspberry Pi 3B Plus is perfect, then you don't need all of this. You don't need the custom PCB and the PoE stuff. You can grab an off-the-shelf Raspberry Pi, do a factory Raspbian installation, run this setup script, and you'll have yourself an access point. And it'd be really cool to actually have a couple of other people doing that, because that means that there'll be other people that are hands-on with this, not just me. And maybe people smarter than myself can start experimenting with it as well. So, Doji asked what is left to do. The only thing left to do for this iteration is to fix the PoE connection, and then it is time to start thinking about what is the next iteration going to be, and also validating some other things like the EEPROM, for example. One thing that I'm really interested in is the EEPROM that's part of the HAT standard that tells the Raspberry Pi what overlays and things to load. It would be interesting to investigate that and get it so that it'll load everything automatically. But that's not really necessary. We're getting by with the startup script. Scott says, add test points. Yes. Richard, good night from Toronto. Good night, everybody. And until next time, go and build something awesome. Thanks. See ya.